Hey guys, welcome to another segment of the Grind Never Stops podcast. This is your host, DJ Joe, and I'm coming to you live here on a Tuesday afternoon. But before we start with this segment, we want to thank all the viewers that's tuned in to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Google Podcasts, and all your music podcast platforms. And I want to thank every single one of you for subscribing to my YouTube channel as we reached 100. And we want to thank everyone for that. And our next goal is reaching 500 subs. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to subscribe, the link will be in the description, and the link will be on all of our social media accounts. But let's start. So in this segment, we will preview the NBA Finals between the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks. For the Suns, you guys knew what they did in this playoff run. They beat the LeBron and AD Lakers in 5 games. They they beat the but yes, they beat the Lakers, but that was without AD because he got injured in game 4 and in game 5. But for the Suns, it's just the sky is the limit. They've been really well in these playoffs. Really well. And they need to take the next step if they want to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. But you guys know that they also, after beating the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round, in 6 games, they went on to sweep the Denver Nuggets, who were without Jamal Murray, who Jokic got ejected in game 4, which he shouldn't have got ejected. But they beat the Nuggets in 4 games. And right when the sweep finished, Chris Paul entered the COVID-19 health and safety protocols. And that wasn't great news for the Suns, but the Suns are second place in the West for a reason. They beat LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers for a damn reason. So that's why when they played the Los Angeles Clippers the first 2 games, Chris Paul did not play. And the Suns still beat the Los Angeles Clippers. Even the Clippers did not have Kawhi and Serge Ibaka. But Paul George choked in game 2 at the free throw line. So they beat the Clippers in 6 games after a 41-point performance by Chris Paul. And that's a week after being hit with the COVID-19 protocols. So for the Suns, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit for the Suns. And for the Bucks, even before this playoff started, before this regular season started, I said the Bucks need to take the next step. They took the next step of trading for defensive specialist Drew Holiday. They got rid of Eric Bledsoe. They got rid of George Hill. They brought in Bobby Portis. And this is time. This is Chris Middle time to finally play in the big stage. And I'm not talking about the NBA Finals, but I'm talking about the big stage, as in big games that he need to step up because he's known for showing up small in big games. So it was the Bucks' time to take the next step because you know what Giannis Antetokounmpo can do on the floor. He can, you know what he can do, and he changed his game just a little bit, and that's why Ben Simmons should have done the same. But we'll talk about Ben Simmons in another segment because I'm tired of Ben Simmons. So the Bucks clinched the third seed in the regular season with a record of 46-26, and at times they looked not too great. But you guys know once the NBA playoffs start, it's a different animal. So the first round they played the Miami Heat, and They're coming off a sweep at 5 games lost last season. In 2019, they lost to the Toronto Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals. So not only did they beat the Miami Heat, they made Jimmy Butler have his worst shooting percentage in his career. They got swept by the Bucks, and then it doesn't get more easy because they played the Brooklyn Nets in the second round, and they did play with the Kyrie Irving. They did not play with James Harden the first couple of games, up until Game 5, but they still beat the Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant averaging close to 40 points per game, and they beat them in 7 games. And they're lucky that KD's foot was on the line after it was a 2-pointer, but if his foot was on the line, they could have won at the buzzer in regulation. So they played the Nets in 7 and they beat them. And then they played the Atlanta Hawks, who were without Trey Young in the last 2 games, in Game 5, Game 6. And Game 7 he returned, but Giannis did not play Game 5, Game 6, Game 7. So I think it was too easy for the Milwaukee Bucks with an injured Trey Young in Game 6, with no Trey Young in Game 5, no Trey Young in Game 4. Like, it was too easy for the Bucks, and the Bucks played well. Bobby Porter started in place of Giannis Antetokounmpo, who missed the last 3 games. Missed the last part of Game 4, but did not play Game 5. They did not play Game 6. But it was too easy for the Bucks. But even though Trey Young did not play Game 4 or Game 5, even though Trey Young came back in Game 7 and looked horrible because of his injury, the Bucks stepped up. They started the game in Game 6 the same way they started in Game 5. Huge run to start the game. Trey Young never got back in the game. Never had his shooting going. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So the Bucks had to take advantage of this, and Chris Middleton played the games of his life in these playoffs. And against the Hawks, he played amazing. Also, Drew Holiday in Game 5 in Game 6, he flirted with a triple double and he had a big game, which made the Bucks going to the NBA Finals. And it's Drew Holiday's first NBA Finals appearance. It's Chris Middleton's first NBA Finals appearance, and it's Giannis Antetokounmpo first appearance in the NBA Finals. It's the Bucks' third appearance in the NBA Finals, and for the first time since 1974. So that's we will talk about the Atlanta Hawks because they have a lot of questions going to the off season with Jason Collins being a free agent. We will talk more about the off season for all the teams in the NBA once the NBA finals conclude. So it's the Bucks against the Suns in the NBA finals. And it's the Suns' first NBA finals since Charles Barkley was on the team. And for the Suns, they've been playing amazing all season long, and for the Bucks as well. But the Suns played the Bucks twice this season, and the Suns won both games by 1 point. They played in Milwaukee February 10, and the Suns came out with a victory 125-124. And they played April 19 in Phoenix, and the Suns won 128-127. So my prediction for this NBA Finals will depend on the injury of Giannis Antetokounmpo, because tonight is Game 1 in Phoenix, Arizona for Game 1 of the NBA Finals, but Giannis is doubtful. And I don't think that Giannis' injury was that bad. So I think that Giannis Antetokounmpo should man up and play through this. Nothing bad, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. That's why Giannis Antetokounmpo should and will play tonight. And I know he says it's doubtful. And if he misses game one, the momentum will go on the Phoenix side because it's all gonna be Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton doing the work. But you need your star guy to play in the finals. Cause there's been a drama and history of people complaining that they did not have their star players, and there was, oh, if we had them, oh, we could have won. In 2016, they said Curry was injured. Iggy, if he was healthy, they wouldn't blow a 3-1 lead. Or into 2015 NBA Finals. No K Love and no Kyrie. And they said if we had Kyrie and then we had Kevin Love, we would have won the finals. Or in 2018 is another thing. Oh, if J.R. Smith didn't have that debacle, we could have won it. Or if we didn't have, if Dwayne Wade and Jay Crowder, we could have won the Warriors. Or in 2019, if we had a healthy Klay Thompson, a healthy Kevin Durant, we would have beat the Raptors. We would have lost in 6 games. Or in 2020, in 2020, if the Miami Heat Bam Adebayo was not injured, yes, he played through the injury. But if he wasn't injured, maybe he would have. They would have won Game 6 and won Game 7. So I don't want to hear that. Oh, if we had Giannis Antetokounmpo or if Chris Paul was healthy or no, we don't want to hear this here at the Grind Never Stops podcast. Just play the damn game. You hyperextend that left knee, but it wasn't that bad. And you had game 5, game 6 to rest, a couple days to rest, and now it's game 1 of the NBA Finals. You've worked so hard to get to this point, Giannis. So I think that he shouldn't be doubtful. He should be ready to go. Because if he misses game 1, it's going to be pressure on Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday to step up. And you need more to beat a team in the NBA Finals, especially a second seeded team who beat the MVP Nikola Jokic, who beat the GOAT of all time LeBron James, who beat Paul George. Now they're gonna just play Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. It's gonna be too easy. It will be an easy path for a championship for Phoenix. So I think that Giannis should play game 1. And if he does not play game 1, it's not over. But the Suns will have all the momentum. But as of right now, I think the Suns will win in 7 games. 6 or 7, that's my prediction. Because Suns are very great. They're too good for Milwaukee. But we need to see because Jay Crowder was playing great defense on Giannis in last year's that matchup between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. So we'll see who DeAndre Ayton will play big minutes, and so will Jay Crowder and CP3 and D Bucks and Mikal Bridges. So it's gonna be a great NBA Finals because it's two teams that are not super teams and that they're young. They drafted most of their guys. It's like Giannis Antetokounmpo against Devin D. Books. So I think Devin Booker might be the X factor of this, and it might be DeAndre Ayton or Jay Crowder, who's been known to play great defense against Giannis. So it's gonna be all of these kind of things that will make the team win the NBA Finals and win the championship. But this is a great NBA Finals as You don't see Cavs, Warriors, Lakers, and all these teams are always in the NBA Finals. And we are happy for CP3, one of the best pass for point guards in NBA history, is finally making the NBA Finals. And he was known for choking in the playoffs, for not going past round two. He made the conference finals for a second time in his career, his first with the Rockets. You know that James Harden choked, and so did Chris Paul. But in these playoffs, Chris Paul did not choke, and he's been playing 50% healthy almost the whole playoffs. And he's he had a 40-point game, a 15 assist game. So it's Chris Paul has been playing great. But for the Bucks, Giannis has been playing great as well. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. So it's gonna be for the Bucks, if they want to win this, Giannis has to play. Giannis has to do his thing. Drew Holiday's got to play great defense on Chris Paul and Devin Booker. And Chris Middleton got to play not just his offense. He's got to have his offense going, keep going, but he's got to play defense as well. Because you know the Bucks bench is not that great, so expect the big guys for the Bucks to play big minutes. And for the Suns, as I told you, Chris Paul's got. We hope that he's more healthier. He's got to do his thing. Devin Booker's got to take over this matchup against Chris Middleton, and Jay Crowder and DeAndre Ayton and Bridges and Saric. All these guys need to continue what they're been doing. But this is the final preview of the NBA Finals. We will do another segment for the Stanley Cup Final, and we will release that tomorrow in the afternoon. And we'll also recap the NBA Finals Game 1, which is tonight on ABC 8, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm signing out. Peace.